for March 25th, the Amarillo College Board of Regents. We're going to begin with prayer tonight, and Haley Rogers. Haley Rogers will be praying, and I already love her smile, and Bob is going to introduce her.
All right. Well, this is Haley.
Hi, Haley.
And Haley is a 2024 graduate of Randall High School. She graduated a year early because she's smarter than other students at Randall High School. And it's a high school full of smart students. So she's a good gal. She's also a member of the Presidential Honors Program. And that group of students is just back from Italy.
Oh.
They went to Italy, visited Pope Francis in the hospital. No, okay, they didn't. They didn't, but they toured all over Italy and just came back last week. And so she's got all kinds of stories about her travels around Italy. She's an honor student, obviously, and her plan is to finish up at Amarillo College and to transfer to major in business. She thought that she might be interested in nursing, but she was smart enough to get a job at the hospital as a tech.
Yeah.
Did that for a while and found out what that was about, decided she's probably not going to be working. So maybe she'll become a hospital administrator.
There you go. There you go.
Because
I don't know about those guys.
she still works at an ER, and she's in front office. Expert on Epic. And you know that system, then you can pretty much get it.
Yeah.
So this bright young lady, she has a very bright future. We appreciate you taking the time to play with us. So I'll get out of your way.
You'll bow your heads and pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you for allowing us to have a safe place to just gather here. I pray that you give clarity in the meeting tonight and that you really seek into our hearts and our minds of just decisions being made and our information being spread. I pray that you just give the words of wisdom through all of our speakers and the decisions tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Man, thank you, Haley.
Got to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
How did you like Italy?
I loved it. Beautiful. It was the prettiest thing I've ever seen.
What all cities did you go to?
We went all over the place, but we started in Venice and ended in Rome. So we saw Pompeii, Sorrento, all of them, all around. So it was super
Awesome.
pretty.
It's a great country.
Yes, beautiful.
Can't wait. Great, Haley. Thank you so much. Look forward to hearing about y'all's report. Next month, I think we're going to hear about that. So get ready and bring some Italian food. That's what we ought to have, that Italian food. That'd be good. All right, so our SGA report is Maya Maldonado. Maya, would you please come up? Another smiling face. We love that.
Hi. Again, my name is Maya Maldonado, and I'm the Vice President for Student Government Association. If you guys have a paper, I'm just going to go along and just read some of the highlights. So our first one I want to mention is our Build a Buddy event. This kicked off our Spring 2 Welcome Week, and we had 150 students. Everyone really enjoyed this event. You could pick out a stuffed animal and stuff it yourself. We gave them little 4-leaf clover jars because it was on St. Patrick's Day to put inside of their stuffed animals. So that was really fun. And I next want to talk about our West Campus lunch we actually went to yesterday, and we served 120 students. So that was really fun for us to get out on the West Campus and see all of our students there. Next, I want to talk about I Have Anxiety, So What? This was a mental health event that we invited Wes Woodson to come and speak, and our students actually really enjoyed this. We had about 62 students there. We served them lunch, and a majority of them actually stayed after to talk to the speaker, Wes Woodson, and he gave a really motivational speech about different things that you can do if you have some anxiety in school or in life, and it was just a really good event overall. And some upcoming events that I would like to highlight is your Find Your Fit event. This is an event where any club or organization at AC can sign up and gives a resource for you to further your community service in that field. So for example, HSA can bring the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce out because you want to be able to stay involved with what you're doing at AC outside of AC once you graduate, or even starting now. And another one I do want to highlight is our Badgerama. So that's later in April. It is our really big event to end spring off. Each student or each club can come out and do an activity. For all of our students, we serve them lunch. This is our second biggest event that we have. So be sure to be updated about that. And that's all I have. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
And Maya,
Yes, ma'am.
if you would like to share a little bit, so SGA had a fundraiser today, for students to go on a trip to,
Galveston, we're going in about 2 weeks for a state conference.
they were selling dirty soda, so I got to find out what a dirty soda was. And they had a silent auction where the students went out, with businesses, local businesses, and they donated. And how much did you make today from that silent auction?
Roughly, we haven't done all of the math, but over $1,000 in just people bidding on things.
Congratulations, you guys did a great job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Wonderful.
Thank you, guys.
That's
All in a month. Okay, so a dirty soda is any type of soda. Like today we had Sprite, Dr. Pepper, Coke, and Diet Coke. And you can put sweet cream in it and any flavoring of your choice. So we have grenadine, cherries, coconut syrup, and vanilla syrup. So just DIY. Exactly. That's my go-to. That's my go-to.
excellent.
Thank you guys so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you, Maya. Appreciate you so much. Before we go on to item number 3, the Regents reports, I want to acknowledge the fact that we have someone on this side of the table whose lovely face we have not seen in a while. Sarah, we're very glad to have you back. Say anything?
It's been a long 4 months, but I'm doing well, progressing well. It's just slow, but progressing. I'm finally able to drive as of last week, so that's good. And I'm still have like 6 more weeks of physical therapy. So I'm hoping that that'll advance me a little bit more, but every day's good. Every day's a little better. Yeah, that's
Glad to
good.
have you here.
Yes,
Wonderful.
thank you.
Since
Glad to be here.
you've missed so much time, we're gonna let you do all the Regents reports. So we're gonna start with the executive committee. We did meet, we discussed a number of topics. Off the top of my head, it really was just kind of related to tonight's meeting and about things in general. And so we just kind of had a quick meeting and, I guess it wasn't quick, but we did discuss some topics and nothing major though, nothing major. Finance committee, does anybody have a report on that? Because they didn't meet. So y'all didn't meet this time. And so we don't have the finance committee. So we'll get to that later. How about AC Foundation?
Yes, so I'll do AC Foundation and Amarillo Museum of Art because we didn't meet for either of those organizations, but I do have a couple of events to tell you about. So the museum, you should have gotten a 20x20. I know you like it, Jay. So it starts, the bidding starts this Friday and the event is Thursday, April 3rd. It's a live event, but all the bidding is on your device. And so it's the only party you get to go to where literally everybody's walking around with their phone in their hand and hardly talking to you. You're talking to people and watching your phone because you get updated if the things you bid on, if anybody has outbid you or something like that.
You accidentally bump somebody. Oh, your phone broke.
Oh, really? That's a good idea. You know, it used to get kind of physical when it was a sign up silent auction, you know? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it got, yeah, it was like, wear your shoulder pads, yeah. And then, you should have gotten, this is a AC Foundation, the Dillon event, I don't know if anybody else is gonna talk about it, but you should have gotten these, and this looks really fascinating, 9th, 10th, and 11th, and then it's taking place partly at the museum for one night, and then at AC Concert Hall View. So, and this RSVP is April 3rd, I think, for this, so
Very
fun
interesting.
things happening.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that report. And so we'll go on to handle PBS report. Peggy?
Tequila.
Cocaine. Oh, that was the other side.
You got a name. Yeah, I didn't go get extras.
So join ACB for the tequila tasting experience on what? Experience an exclusive tequila master class. Don't say that after. And studios. Led by an expert, this guided tasting will take patrons to the flight of premium tequila varieties, highlighting their unique flavors and characteristics. Enjoy expertly paired hors d'oeuvres and gain fascinating insights into the history and craftsmanship of this classic spirit. Perfect for tequila enthusiasts and curious learners alike. Don't miss this unforgettable evening at Panhandle PBS. The space is limited and 21 years or older, of course.
Is that related to any show that's coming up, or is this just a fun
An
event?
idea we had as a fundraiser.
Okay, I like that. I like that. That's a good idea. Peggy, thank you. Anything else on Panhandle PBS? That's it? All right, let's go on then to Tiers report by Dr. Woodburn.
Surprise, surprise, we had no meeting. And we do have one coming up this Thursday, but unfortunately, I'm gonna be out of town,
Oh, okay.
but I'll still have a report.
Okay. All right. Thank you, David. Tiers 2, no meeting. No meeting. Do I hear Tiers 3? No. Golly, get in there easy. Okay. Stand policies and committees. Nothing going on there. Finance, we already talked about, no meeting there. Legislative affairs.
Okay, yes, so myself and Dr. Aaron Annette traveled to Austin for the Board of Trustees Institute. That was February 27th through the 28th. And the theme of this event was charting the path forward, strategic governance for growth and innovation. And we heard from one of our very good friends who was the keynote speaker, Dr. Russell Lowry Hart, and his message focused on leading through love and how cultural change starts with courageous leadership, something I believe that we are all doing here at AC. He also shared a lot of the work that we as a board worked alongside with him in removing barriers and spoke about our average student, in which we call Maria.
Mhm.
We also heard from the Texas Higher Education Commissioner, Dr. Wynn Rosser, who also spoke about preparing for House Bill 8 and shifting our mindset from enrollment to outcomes-based funding. And also, before we left, we worked on a strategy session with colleges across the state discussing best practices and how we as trustees and presidents can better support our students beyond graduation. I also participated in the CAT Education Committee. We reviewed feedback from the January new trustee orientation, which received great marks, especially around fiduciary responsibilities and understanding the board president dynamic. We're also planning the upcoming 2025 CAT annual conference. So save the date. It's going to be held in Austin, September the 11th through the 13th. This year's theme is tactful trusteeship, from case studies to campus selection solutions. Registration opens in May. Early bird pricing ends June 30th. Thursday will kick off with the pre-conference sessions and dinner. So I strongly encourage all regions, if you're able to clear some time in your busy schedules, to attend that upcoming event. I have also been invited to apply for the upcoming NALEO Policy Institute on Shaping Economic Success for Latinas. That event is scheduled for May the 7th in Los Angeles. If accepted into the Institute, this trip is fully funded through NALEO. And so I'm just trying to see if I can free up some of my time before the filing deadline. And then on a side note, I'm also a member of TACHI, which is Texas Association of Chicanos in Higher Ed. And they recently had their annual conference on February the 26th and 27th. And since I was unable to attend that event, I was still able to cast my vote for their slate of officer elections.
Cool. Anything else? That's it? Well, glad you're here, because then that made it sound like we really had something to report. Good job. Good job, John. Do appreciate all your work on that. Very good. Nominating committee, anything? No report. No reports. I didn't think so. Okay, thank you all very much. Next up, we have a new item. I believe this is the first time we've had it. New item, and I like this because I think this is where it needs to be. I think our president has some things to say each time we meet. And if we don't, she doesn't have anything to say, then we won't have this. But I like the fact that we're going to get your perspective on kind of what's happening and things that you see in your purview. So take it away, Jamel.
Well, thank you all so much for being willing to kind of add this as a standing agenda item. So some of the things I just wanted to let you know that have been going on and are going on at the college. Last Friday, we had the Legacy Awards, and those are for held for our employees that are hitting different anniversary levels. Irene attended, so thank you so much for being there for that. We had more than 60 faculty and staff that were recognized from 5 years of service all the way up to, was it 35, I thought, yes. What was really fantastic to see, not only to have all of those folks there, but how many of their colleagues that they work with actually showed up to celebrate with them. And also to give a huge thanks to Marketing Communications and the AP. They did a fantastic job. It's a class act event with a hot breakfast and how they put together these little notebooks so that each employee has a page with their picture. They can give a little bit of word of advice, and then their supervisor is actually making comments, and that's something that they can keep in their home. So that was really neat.
So cool.
Our baseball team had a great weekend last weekend. So we won the series with a 3-1 victory over Western Texas College. And this weekend is our first volleyball team tournament in Canyon. So excited to see them. Also, we had a wonderful turnout and a great time in Dumas celebrating Jill Williams in her new role as dean out there. Irene, you're out there as well. I know we were dividing and conquering. We had Regents at first responders that night too. Also, this is hot off the presses. So our own marketing communications team, we just found out that for the Education Advertising Awards, they've earned 10 awards, including a gold for our full marketing campaign. So the categories that they won gold in were integrated marketing campaign and class schedules. They earned silver in imprinted materials, installations, other miscellaneous collateral and special promo, special event campaign, special promotions campaign, and student viewbook. Bronze for installations for the First Responders Academy installation, and a merit for the publication external for the presidential search brochure. So huge congratulations to Kevin and his whole team. Well, yes. As we're looking at my first 100 days, I think now it's been officially 2 months since I've been here in my role. So I have officially gotten out to all the campuses. By no means have I seen anything or met everybody, but it was a great time to actually get out and at least start those conversations. So looking forward to getting out to talk and meet with people more and see all the unique things that each campus has to offer. Also, both Northwest Texas and BSA hospitals graciously welcomed me and my team for a meet and greet so that I could get to know them and we could talk about ways that AC and the hospitals could strengthen partnerships and opportunities for our students and also to meet their workforce needs. I spent some time out with Dr. Windler at WT and got to get a tour of that campus, had a great time on the air with our students. They did a podcast interview with me on FM 90, so that was a lot of fun. What you'll also see on this campus information activities, just thought it might be good for you to kind of see a few of the highlights of things that are coming up in my schedule of people and places I'll be going as I continue to learn more about the area and the college and meeting folks. Bodie was fantastic to get to spend time with Annette and John and talking through the history of Amarillo College and what's taken us where we are today and what's all of that history that's going to propel us forward. It also gave me the opportunity to meet more of the other presidents at the Texas community colleges. So starting to build that network. Last week, we kicked off the new term after a really great spring break. I know for me, it was Martin and I were able to fly out to Seattle and see Senna for a few days. And then our oldest Reese came out. It was her spring break last week. So she got to spend a few days in Amarillo, came out to the college. So it was a lot of fun showing her around and all the great places and all the wonderful food to eat in Amarillo. So we had a wonderful time. And then just stay tuned. We're looking to have our Board of Regent budget and strategic planning retreat, trying to combine both of those, use that time wisely. I'm looking at possibly a date in June. So more to come and seeing what would work for everybody. So thank you very much for letting me have the time.
Depends on what they say about Italy, but throw it out there. That probably wouldn't be in budget.
We're in district.
Right, we're in district, we got to meet inside. All right, I think that concludes our status update. And so we will be back at 6:30 sharp. Be back here about 6:25-ish, and we'll get started right at 6:30. Sound good? All right. Thank y'all.
We have the robot coffee arm.
Do.
Y'all want a copy?
She's watching the.
Go ahead and start the Amarillo College Board of Regents regular meeting for March 25th, 2025. At the Bradley Center, and we had supper, and then right here at the Innovation Outpost, we're being hosted by the Outpost, and I encourage you, if you haven't seen this place, those of you live streaming it, you need to get out here and see it because it's a wonderful venue. We thank Kevin and Mary and Linda and everyone here for welcoming us here. So thank you for this venue. I'm going to call to order and welcome everybody here. First order of business is Pledge of Allegiance. We do have a flag electronically up there. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any public comments, Kim? Anyone, public comments from anyone? No. Okay, no public comments. The minutes of the regular board meeting of February 25th, I'll entertain a motion on those minutes.
I move we approve the minutes.
Second. Okay, and Irene seconds. Any discussion or corrections or amendments? Okay, all in favor of the motion to pass the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All of those not in favor, say no. All right, the motion carries. Consent agenda items, appointments, faculty, there are none, and then the budget amendments for approval by the board are attached on page 3. Entertain a motion on those. Donnie? And then John, second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against say no. All right, that motion carries. Number 7, item number 7, purchase of HSI STEM grant equipment. Dr. Sobey.
HSI STEM grant requests board approval for smart boards and document cameras totaling $117,435.70 for classrooms in engineering and direct. These smart boards will replace the current dated equipment in those classrooms and provide support for the math course redesign undertaken in year 4. This equipment purchase has already been approved by the Department of Education. So after discussion, the board may wish to approve the purchase of HSI STEM grant equipment.
Move for approval.
Okay, move for approval. All and second, Annette. Any discussion or questions?
How long do you anticipate that those will, before they're outdated?
Well, they will be a vast improvement over what we currently have, which has probably been in place for about 7 years. Imagine these should be good for 4 or 5, but I'm not a nice. I don't know, Sean's still here.
No. Those, if they're the ones that I'm thinking of, they should last a minimum of 5 to 7 years without needing updates such that we need to replace them again. And they're used every single day, as I understand it. No, that's a good question. That's a good question. That's a lot of money, but I think it's money well spent using the STEM grant. Okay, so we have a motion. All in favor of this motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, all opposed by saying no. All right, that motion carries. Item number 8, consideration of approving interlocal agreement with the Amarillo Independent School District. Mark White, in Chris's absence, will bring that to us today.
As you know, our community enrichment and wellness program puts on a very robust kids college every summer, a lot of kids. And we've been doing it at Ascension Academy, renting their space. This year, we're going to do it at, what's that place called? I can't remember. I can't remember.
Too close to retirement. I just don't forget everything.
It's a better venue. The location is better. And it's perfect for us. And it's to no cost, except for we'll pay for custodial. And so we need to do an agreement to use Amtech, and it's an interlocal agreement. The reason it looks awfully long and complicated and over lawyered is because if we enter into a contract with another governmental entity, we have to follow a lot of the government code stuff about interlocal agreements. So it's really not as complicated as it looks, but we need to approve that so we can get kids college going.
Okay, Peggy, and second?
Second.
Okay, David, thank you for that second of that motion. Any discussion? Okay,
Interested.
go ahead.
What kind of money did we spend with Ascension Academy when we were doing that? Do you recall?
10,000?
10K.
10,000? 10?
30,000.
Well, that's a big savings.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And a much nicer venue.
Well, and closer because we'll have some police officers out there and so forth, and it's just a lot closer than going all the way out to Ascension. And for the kids, the zip codes, a lot of the kids come from really far away from Ascension Academy.
Michelle.
Yes, on this automatic renewal, Mark, is it any way that we can require that sooner than 30 days? I mean, like they could, the school district could wait till May 1, and then we wouldn't have backup plans. So can we, I don't know where that paragraph is. I can't seem to find it.
Like for the next year?
It renews automatically, but then either party can terminate with 30 days notice. It is right here.
What paragraph you at?
Paragraph 8.
Okay, so it's not a problem because this is an overarching interlocal agreement. At least that's how it's designed to be. The exhibit A is for kids college, but we can put exhibit B for a different thing. So this is supposed to be for anything that we would use, any properties at AISD we would use, we would just do a new exhibit for that project. I know it's a little.
Yeah, but what about for 30 days? Can you just make that longer, 60 days notice instead of 30?
Sure we could.
I mean, it just seems like it's kind of last minute at 30. Give us time to have a
Sure, we can make that change.
Yeah.
Well, I just wasn't sure, the school district would be okay with it, but I mean, it would help you guys.
They will be.
Your board has not approved yet.
No, we're waiting for this approval, and then the board of trustees will do that next.
How many students usually?
There are 1,800 students who come for 2 full months. And they're week-long mornings and afternoons, and then there'll be the next camp and the next camp.
So it's too big if it were like for first responders, ever be a backup for that?
I don't know if they have enough space, maybe for some of the classrooms, they may be an overflow, because I will guarantee you, we're shoehorning just about every space that we've got there. We're putting in some, in the Robot Drone Coliseum, some portable basketball goals. And so there's going to be some basketball being taught there, which is kind of cool. I mean, that big meeting area down there. There will be, they'll eat in the banquet hall. I mean, that's where the students who don't go home will be there. And so this is just a great opportunity, speaking on behalf of Amarillo ISD and Amtech, for us to continue to be good partners in this community to, like we are with the machining program and other dual credit opportunities. It really shows the community that we're using taxpayer funds wisely, and that we are a community who can do that. And it also, I will just be honest, from the ASD's part, it gets young people looking at the things that are at Amtech, to be honest, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, and it also is, the kids are going to Amarillo College.
Absolutely.
So, I went there to kids college, and it's an easy transition then for them to think of Amarillo College when they were.
Absolutely. There's so many different courses they can take. It's going to be fun. So good. We'll make that change there. If we're can we amend the motion? Who made that? Okay, Peggy, you made the motion. Is it okay if we amend it to the 60 days notice?
90.
I think 60 would be.
60 is sufficient. Okay. So we'll make that change and we'll go ahead and vote on that. I'm going to abstain. I'll just go ahead and say that. But all in favor to have kids college there at Amtech Career Academy, please by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed by saying no? One abstention, Jay Barrett. All right. I will tell you, this is gonna be a lot of work for a retiring dude. Just when cause I didn't know I was gonna retire when I said, let's do this. Now I'm June.
When is your retirement date? Is it, I thought you were retiring in June.
June 30th.
Oh.
But I can't just say,
No, you
y'all
can't.
take over. I hope we get somebody hired to replace me and then I've got to train them to take over. But anyway, thank you all very much. I think it's gonna be great. Number 9, invitation to bid package number 1420, best value invitation for bid 1, used semi for trucking operations at Amarillo College. Mark, you're still up.
So we sent out an invitation for bid to purchase a used semi truck. We only got one bid from Bruckner's Trucks, $68,000. And so we're asking to have that approved.
Move for approval.
Okay, we got a motion, Annette, and second, Peggy. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of purchasing this semi, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by saying no? All right. Item number 10, the investment report. Michael Sugden. Michael, thank you for coming tonight. We appreciate
Thanks for
that.
having me.
Yes.
Hopefully I won't mess it up. If anything's wrong, Chris gave me this information. On the investment report, we're gonna start on page 5 in the packet, and over on the left side where we talk about the portfolio summary. Want to point out the market value. That's mostly related to the property tax collections that come in December and January, water and Randall County. We also received one of our state reimbursements during that time. So that's why that's up. And then over on the right side for portfolio characteristics, the current interest rate we're earning is 4.35%, 2%. So that's okay. And then the rest of the pages on this report are just listings about where the funds are invested. So unless there's any questions on that, we can move on to the next slide.
Motion to approve the investment report.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Any second?
Second.
Okay, Johnny, thank you very much. Any discussion about the quarterly investment report? Okay, let's go ahead and vote. All of those in favor of item number 10, the investment report as is, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by saying no? Okay, that motion carries. And Michael, you're still up with financial report.
On the financial section, we're starting on page 10. This is comparing year over year from February of 25. I'm going to jump down to the total asset section. And it's down about 5 million. Most of that's due to the construction process when who's working on the bond projects. That's all I'm going to point out on that page. I'll flip into the next page, and it's talking about the current liabilities. And we had a bond payment made of $8 million compared to the previous year, so that reduced the overall liabilities by about $6 million. A few other odds and ends there. Then I jumped over to page 13. And our operating revenues were up about $7 million. And most of that's from gifts from the Emerald Lodge Foundation related to the bond project. Thank you, Foundation. That's moving along.
What project was that for? Does anybody know?
It's a various projects.
Okay, multiple.
Yeah, it's not, it hasn't been just one. There's been various parts of the bond projects that have been worked on.
Thanks, Michael.
All right. And then over to page 14. Our operating expenses compared to the previous year are up about $5 million. And Chris pointed out that that's due to architecture fees and bond construction. But our overall net position so far this year is at $1.4 million approximately. And that's all.
Can I ask a question? Sure. How are we on just enrollment? year, we're looking at the numbers, the difference in the numbers, but I mean, do we know, are we flat, are we down, are we up? We're up about 2% we're up about 2% in contact hours. Not that that matters because we're not funded on contact hours anymore. And we're up about 2% in credit hours. As far as day-to-day enrollment goes, we're almost dead flat. We were almost dead flat in the fall and almost dead flat today. In fact, 2 days ago, we had the exact same number of days this year compared to last year. So there's almost no change in head count, but we continue to go up very slowly in credit hour production. And the other thing that we've seen is we've outperformed the 5-year average every year for the last 4 years in full-time enrollment. So our full-time enrollment has continued to grow. Part-time enrollment has continued to go down, which is really good, right? Because we know from what Colin has told us that your chances of success go up dramatically if you're enrolled full-time. So we're on a good trajectory. Enrollment's not growing per se, but the student participation and the number of credit hours that they're producing is continuing to go up. And that's going to be a big deal because of the way that we're funded now. Obviously, with the outcomes, we need the graduations because that's where the money is, right? And of course, we need the headcount enrollment. We need the credit hours as well because we still do collect tuition and fees for students who are enrolled. So I think overall, in terms of enrollment, we're in a pretty good position, especially here in the Texas Panhandle, where the population is not growing much. It's growing a little bit in Amarillo, but really not growing at all outside of Amarillo. So we're holding our own. There's a huge advantage still to the community colleges that are up and down the I-35 corridor, right? Because they're still continuing to see growth in population. But for dusty old West Texas, I think we're holding. So comparing to other community colleges, similar conditions, across, I'd say anything not on I-35 is.
Yeah.
In fact, I would wonder even how they're doing just because, unemployment where it's at. I'm just curious if there's a lot of people really moving towards the community college side of things just because they can get jobs so easily.
Yeah, I've looked at other community colleges across the state. I haven't seen anything that really knocked my socks off. El Paso Community College took a huge hit during COVID, and it looks like they're still kind of digging out of that hole. Some of the other community colleges in larger metropolitan areas didn't see as big a hit, and those schools appear to be continuing to grow, but that seems to be tied to population more than anything else. And for community colleges in general, if you look at the literature related to public perception of value of higher education, community colleges are outperforming universities. People still believe in what we're doing. I think that that's really important. And obviously, we still have a lot of work to do here in Amarillo, right? Because Amarillo still lags behind the rest of the state in college attainment. And the state of Texas still has a lot of work to do because we're still pretty low. I mean, we're just above Mississippi. And that really hasn't changed much in the last 20 years. So there's room to move.
So go ahead.
No, I just gonna say, so, I mean, it appears to me, looking at our financials, we've seen improved financials just from a revenue perspective and that isn't really from enrollment. That's really from as a testament to the good work within the college of having better outcomes and also the House Bill 8. Is that the right? Is that the right answer?
The change in the funding model. I mean, we were so well positioned with the change in the funding model, right? I mean, it's great public policy, and it was right in our wheelhouse because we were always performing well in outcomes. We're at a huge disadvantage in terms of population growth.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I mean, with this model,
our success just depends on us, right? It depends on us continuing to move the needle on retention, to move the needle on graduation. Right? So I think that if other schools are looking for the answer, I think we're in an enviable position. I could see where schools have looked at us and see what we're doing and see that it's working. I feel fairly confident about it. And Chris isn't here to say that it's not going well, so.
Is that we're holding our own at Amarillo College. WT is in a mess.
They're going down, aren't they?
They're having to really figure out a way to make an impact because they've lost it.
Well, I know you've got a question, but it appears to me that if population is not increasing much in our service area, let's say, to me, the only way we really are going to see growth is to really improve in that educational attainment number is where we've got to, that seems to me like that's where our growth can be. Because there's a lot of people there. And if we're not going to get them through new babies, we're going to have to get them, through convincing them that they need to go to college. Okay, sorry, that's enough of my time.
And I think through dual credit as well, because there's some growth in dual credit that we can capture, especially with the House Bill 8 being so generous once they get 15 credit hours coming to us. And that's just a game changer.
The Commissioner of Higher Ed did speak about this at the Bodie conference, and he just said that there's more female students than what there are male students. And so he has had a request for all of the individuals in the room to try to make themselves more attractive to male students.
That was going somewhere I wasn't sure.
It didn't show.
So with the movement, they're more full-time versus part-time, like you mentioned.
What do we expect that to do, the completion of graduation? Like, do we know about what we think that's going to move the needle on that, since funding again is based on that?
Well, okay. If Colin was here, right, and we had some time, you could probably walk us through that.
Yeah.
But the simple thing that we know is this, right? Colin's told us this for years, right? The magic number for Amarillo College is 30 credits in the first year. Okay.
It's what?
30 credits in the first year, right? Getting out of the gate and getting moving, right?
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. And you drop down to like 25 credit hours, your chances of completion in 3 years drop off dramatically, right? So it's all about getting off to a good start. And we don't have time here for all of the details, but one of the things that the college has been doing in the last couple of years is we have a group of folks that are working as what we call success coaches. And the success coaches are working hand in hand with the faculty to keep an eye on students who appear to be most at risk, right? And they're pulling all of the tools out of the toolbox to try and keep these students on their path, right? Because if we can get you through the first year, 30 credits, you're almost unstoppable. Right?
So
figuring it out.
success coaching is really paying off.
It appears to be paying off. Frank, anything you want to add to the success coaching?
So our fall to spring retention as of today is just under 80%. There's still more information to collect because we have a census date coming up, but that's really encouraging because the belief was always that if we could hit 80% fall to spring, that we would have a really good shot at a statistically significant positive impact on fall to fall, which we haven't seen. So we're at 79.3%, well, which is really impressive. And also our fall to spring retention for part-time, first time in college students is up nearly 5 percentage points. We've never seen that. And that's a testament, I think, to the success coaches who really prioritized part-time, first time in college students. And then as a subset, those with
Just kind of thinking and continuing the thought, and it's maybe out of order, and you tell me if it is. But thinking about kids college are we offering up to what grade? Because I really.
12th grade.
Not through 12. Okay.
Bell has a program I know that goes 9 through 12. So they'll be there
So
and,
they're experiencing AC.
yep, absolutely.
We can be encouraging them to do dual credit. And what about work study? Are we doing any of that type of thing? Where
Nothing.
students are they're having the opportunity to work for a company that's also internship.
Oh, internships?
Internship is way off the agenda.
Yeah, we can talk about those later. I think you said we should talk about that later. Okay. But we do need to talk about that because it's always an important topic. I want to thank the panel of esteemed guests over here. Joe Bill, you same like everybody else did a good job of weighing in without having to be prepared. Y'all just
I'll
go in
move
there.
approval for the funding.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. Okay, here we go. All in favor of.
Did somebody second?
Yeah, all in favor of, and because Michael's ready to sit down. All in favor of approving the financials, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Anybody opposed by no? Okay, there's one other agenda item on there.
Move for adjournment.
Okay, second. We are adjourned. It's not an award, winning minute by minute meeting. 26.